Hello, welcome to this happy yoga class. As always, this class is donated to Pure, so if you do have any spare pennies you can donate towards this class to go towards the staff at Pure, that would be wonderful. And if you could just make sure you're in a nice comfortable seated position. You can either have your legs crossed or your legs out in front of you. Maybe you'd prefer to kneel. And then whenever you are seated comfortably, bringing your hands to rest gently on your knees or in your lap. Palms up or palms down, whichever you prefer. Take an inhale. Feel that length through the spine. Feel the crown of your head being drawn up towards the sky. Keeping that length as you exhale, but feel yourself grounding down into the mat beneath you. You can close your eyes if you would like to. Or if you prefer, you can just lower your gaze down towards the floor in front of you. Going to start by taking note or making a scan through the body, just checking in with how it's feeling today. Being aware of any aches or pains or niggles that you've got going on. Just making sure that throughout the practice you honour your body. Don't push yourself to somewhere where there's any pain. If you do feel like that's happening, just gently bring yourself out of whatever pose it is. Taking note of how you're breathing, what areas of your body are moving as you inhale. As you exhale, maybe you're feeling movement in the belly or in the chest, maybe up in the shoulders. And then we're going to take our attention to the breath. Just watching it to start with. See how it's feeling today. Is it coming nice and easily to you? Or maybe it's not as steady today. Not trying to change it, just letting whatever comes naturally just flow in, flow out. On the next inhale, just see how many counts it takes you to fully inhale. And the same with the exhale. And we'll see if on the next breath you can just increase that inhale by 1 count, increase the exhale by 1 count. Same again with the next inhale. Can you lengthen it even more? Adding another count to that inhale. Another count to the exhale. Slowly trying to lengthen the breath. Slow the breath. one more time if there's any more space there to just lengthen the breath even more by that one extra count on the inhale and the exhale. Taking one last breath like this. And then just let go of that counting, let go of trying to lengthen the breath and just come back to your natural resting breath. If your eyes were closed, gently opening them. If your gaze was down, just lifting it up. Take the hands down by our side here, just bringing the fingertips or the hands down towards the floor, in line with the hips. Inhale to create that length again. Exhale, we're just going to drop the right ear down towards the right shoulder to take a stretch through the left side of the neck. If you do want to add a bit more of a stretch here, just gently bring the right hand up and rest it on top of the head. You're not pulling at all, just resting the hand there. Releasing that hand back down to the floor. And just tip the forehead down towards the floor. Feeling the stretch move gently round the left side of the neck and then taking the head all the way down, looking straight down. You feel the stretch down the back of the neck. Inhale, bring the head back up to center, and exhale, take the left ear down towards the left shoulder. And again, if you want to add a little bit more to this stretch, just lifting the left hand up, gently placing it on top of the head. Release that left hand if you brought it up, and then starting to slowly tip the forehead down, nice and slowly, gradually rolling it all the way down to center, as slowly as you like, just to feel the stretch all the way around the right side of the neck. Lifting your head back up to center. And inhale, both the hands up overhead. Exhale to take the right hand down towards the mat. Inhale, reach up to the sky with the left and take yourself down into a side stretch as you exhale, making sure the left side of the body stays on the ground as well. Make sure that hip isn't floating up. Inhaling into the left side of the body. Exhaling, maybe you can just slightly lower yourself further to the ground or walk that right hand a little further out. As your next exhale, we're going to just drop that left hand down towards the floor as well. And then slowly start to walk our hands round to center, reaching as far out as you can. When you get to the center, see if you can just walk your fingertips a little bit further forward. And then you can start to exhale and just soften down into a forward fold here. If you find yourself up here, that's as far as your stretch can go, that's also absolutely fine. Just listening, like we said at the start, to your body, not pushing yourself too far. It's very early in the practice as well, so you might just not be as warm as you're used to in this pose, so just taking it easy. Inhaling to walk the hands back up, so coming back up to center, taking both the hands up as you inhale. Exhale to take the left hand down this time, reach up towards the sky with the right hand, and exhale, take yourself down into a side stretch towards the left, feeling that stretch down the right side of the body, actively making sure that that right hip is grounding down into the mat there. And then as you exhale, lower the right hand down towards the floor and start to walk your hands round towards the front again. And then just take another little forward fold. Maybe you can get a little deeper this time, maybe not. Just using your breath to slowly lower yourself down. Lovely. bringing yourself back up to centre. Roll the shoulders up and back. Okay, we're going to come into all fours position. Just taking the legs out behind you or rolling over your crossed legs. Making sure that our fingertips are nice and widespread. Shoulders above the wrist, knees below the hips. Toes can be tucked or untucked, depending on what's most comfortable for your knees here. And take an inhale. Exhale to draw the belly button in towards the spine, curve the spine up towards the sky. Tucking the tailbone under, dropping the head, and then as you inhale, your belly drops down towards the mat. You're lifting your head, lifting the tailbone. Scrolling through cat-cow. A few more times, just following your own breath, making sure that you are pushing down into your hands and your fingertips here to make sure that your chest isn't dropping in between your shoulders. Taking one more inhale, one more exhale. And then when you finish that exhale, just coming back to a neutral spine here. We're going to take the right foot out behind us, lifting that leg up so that it's parallel to the floor, keeping the toes pointed or flexed as long as that foot's active. And as you inhale, we're going to take the left hand out in front of us. And you can either stay here and hold this pose, or if you exhale, you can bring the knee and the elbow together underneath the belly. Inhale them out. 2 more times, following your own breath, bringing them in, out. I'm going to hold this here. If you do want to bend the back leg up and reach around with your left hand here, you can, pushing the foot into the hand. Give that stretch to the top of the right leg. And then release the hand and the leg down. And take the left leg back this time. Making sure that the leg is parallel to the floor. Bringing the right arm out, and as you exhale, drawing the knee and the elbow together underneath the chest, curving that spine up, and as you inhale, taking them out. Three times, and then you can either hold this here, you can bend the left leg up, reach around with the right hand to grab the top of the foot here, push the foot into the hand, and then gently releasing back down to the floor. We're going to come so that we are kneeling here. We're going to take the toes underneath us. So making sure that all the toes are tucked under, especially that little toe. Lovely. We're going to just bring the hands towards the heart centre and just sit in this position for as long as you can. It can be quite intense if you don't practice this often, and it can be intense if you do. It's just trying to take a few breaths, focusing on the breath. If it does become too much, gently bring yourself up and out. Taking one last breath. Okay, bring yourself up. And taking the toes, bringing the hands down towards the floor into our all fours position. We're going to tuck the toes under and lift ourselves up into our downward dog. And as it's the first one with the practice, if you want to just take a little pedal through the feet, move the hips side to side, whatever feels good for you here. And then just rest for a couple of breaths, being still in this downward dog. Keeping that bend in the knees if you must, lifting the heels off the floor, but keeping the energy actively drawing down through the heels, trying to bring those heels towards the floor. Chest is drawing towards the top of the thighs. And slowly walk the feet towards the hands, towards the top of the mat. When you get there, staying in a forward fold, keeping the knees bent, the belly is resting onto the legs here. The head is nice and relaxed. The arms can be resting on the floor, or you can hold onto the elbows. You might want to take a little sway from side to side or a nod in the shape of the head. Just loosening through the back of the body here, making sure you're not holding on to any tension. If you're holding onto the elbows, just release them now, let the hands drop. Keeping the knees bent, pushing into the feet as we start to slowly roll ourselves up. Keeping the head and the arms heavy. When you get to the top, rolling the shoulders up and back. Coming into our mountain pose. Arms are just slightly away from the body, hands out to the side. Core is drawn in. Shoulders are relaxed. Let's take an inhale, bring both the hands up towards the sky. Exhale to fold ourselves forward from the hips. Bringing our hands all the way down towards the floor. Inhale, coming to a half lift. Fingertips to the floor, to the shins. Exhale to fold yourself down and taking a step with the right and the left foot back into a plank position. You can come down through chaturanga or knees, then chest and the chin. As you inhale, drawing the chest through into cobra or into up dog. Exhale to tuck the toes and pushing ourselves up, either through plank or through all fours up into a downward dog. Taking a few breaths here in our downward dog. Looking forward towards the hands, either walking, jumping or stepping the right and the left foot back to the front of the mat. Inhale, coming to that half lift. Exhale to fold all the way down. Inhale, we're going to bring the hands out to the side, keeping the torso nice and straight as you bring the hands together overhead. Exhaling the hands down to the heart center. Inhale, bring the hands up overhead. Exhale to fold ourselves all the way down. Inhale, coming to the half lift. Exhale to fold down, taking your step with the left and the right foot back this time, or you can hop or walk the feet back. Taking yourself down through knees, chest and chin, or through chaturanga, keeping the elbows in. Inhale, coming forward into a cobra or up dog. Tucking the toes, pushing yourself up into a downward dog. Taking one more breath here. Before you look between the hands, either step, hop, or take the left then the right foot back this time to the front of the mat. Inhale, coming to the half lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, coming all the way up to standing, bring the hands together overhead. Inhale, reach the hands up to the sky and maybe take a little back bend here if that's available. Exhaling the hands down. I'm going to hold it here for a moment. Keeping the hands together in the heart center. You can close your eyes or lower the gaze. The thumbs are just gently touching the chest here. Maybe you can feel your heartbeat. See if you can just slow it down. Lovely, releasing the hands down by the side. Opening the eyes. Inhaling, taking the hands up overhead. Exhale to fold ourselves all the way down. Inhale, coming to your half lift. Exhale to bring the hands down to the floor. Step, walk, or hop the legs back into a plank position. This time we'll just push the hips straight up into a downward dog. You're going to lift the right leg up towards the sky, coming into a three-legged dog. Making sure you're not opening the right hip higher than the left. Feel that stretch down the back of the left leg. We're going to bring the right leg all the way in between the hands, give it a little bit of a help if it needs it. Flattening the back foot down so the left toes are pointing towards the left side of the mat. I'm going to cartwheel the arms up into our warrior two. Making sure in our warrior two that our feet are in line if they can be. Bending into the front knee, but not bringing the knee further forward than the ankle, making sure that it sits above the ankle. Shoulders and hips are in line with each other, arms are active but shoulders are relaxed. Looking over that front hand. I'm going to flip the front hand so the palm faces up, reaching forward a little bit before we reach up towards the sky, coming into our reverse warrior. The back hand just glides down the back of the leg, or you can reach it around to the top of the right thigh, keeping that bend in the front leg. Coming back to your warrior two position. Going to take the right arm to rest on the right leg, coming into a side angle here. Nice line from the fingertips down towards the outside of the foot. And this right arm should just be resting here. You should almost be able to lift it off the leg here. You're not using it as a place to lean. And take the left hand down towards the inside of the foot, the right hand to the outside. Just bring that back leg in a little bit. Sorry, turn the back foot in a little bit. And straighten the front leg. And take a forward fold over this front leg. If you need to be on your fingertips here, that's fine. If you need to, maybe just gently hold on to the ankle or the shin to be able to keep that front leg straight, then do. If it does have a little bend in it, don't worry. Otherwise, see if you can exhale and take your whole torso and your nose down towards your leg. And start to shift the weight forward a little bit. Bring the hands so they are slightly in front of the front foot. Start to lift the back leg off the floor. See if you can bring that back leg so that it's parallel to the mat. And see if you can keep your core engaged, keep that belly button drawing into the spine. Bring the hands up off the floor into a prayer position, coming into a warrior three. If you need to bring your hands down, that's fine. Or bring them wherever is comfortable. We're going to take a step back here into a high lunge. So slowly with control, dropping that back foot down towards the floor. The back leg is nice and active here. Bringing our hands up towards the sky. Reach them up to the sky and maybe taking a little back bend here if that's available again. Keeping that bend in the front leg, keeping the back leg active. Going to bring both the hands down towards the floor, straightening that front leg again, but taking both the feet to face the left hand side. Both the hands are on the floor here, and then if you can, fold down a little bit towards the mat. See if you can just take a little bit of a deeper stretch here. If you are all the way up here, that's absolutely fine. But you need to bend your legs a little bit to bring your fingertips to the floor. I'm going to walk back around to the front foot. And then take a step back into our downward dog. Holding that for a few breaths. Lifting the left leg up towards the sky into our three-legged dog. Once again, making sure that the left hip doesn't open out on top of the right. Keeping the left toes pointed, feeling that stretch up the back of the right leg. And then bringing the left foot all the way through. Gently as you can, placing it in between the hands. Flattening the right foot down behind you so the toes point out towards the right. And then cartwheeling the arms up, overhead, into a warrior two. Once again, bending into that front knee, the knee is over the ankle. The weight is distributed between the front and the back foot. Arms drawing front and back, but shoulders are relaxed. Flipping the front palm, reaching forward, before you reach up into that reverse warrior. Once again, you can bring that right hand this time round towards the top of the left thigh, or just leave it back here. Going back to your warrior two. And then taking the left arm down towards the left knee, reaching the right arm up overhead. So trying to make that lovely straight line from the fingertips all the way down to the outside of the foot. Keeping the core and the abs active so that we could lift that left arm up off the leg if we had to. Taking the right hand down towards the inside of the right foot, the left hand to the outside. Just bringing that back foot in, turning it in a little bit. Straightening the front leg. Inhaling to create that length through the spine. Exhaling to fold down over the front leg, and once again, wherever you are here, whether you need to be on your fingertips or holding onto your leg, or if you have some blocks, you can use them here as well. So start to shift our weight forward. Bringing our hands in front of the foot a little bit as we start to lift the back leg up off the floor. You need to stay here. If you need to have that leg bent to reach the floor, that's fine. You can either stay here or see if you can bring the hands up, coming into that warrior three. Taking a nice big step back into that high lunge. Once again, reaching the hands up towards the sky. And if you want to take a little back bend, here you can. Bringing both the hands back down to either side of that front foot. Straighten the leg, turning both the feet to face the right side of the mat this time. Now here, just have your toes pointing in a little bit. Tiny micro bend in the knees. I'm going to bring the left hand down in front of us. I'm going to twist and take the right hand up towards the sky, looking up towards the hand. And then taking that hand back down towards the floor, reaching up towards the sky with the left hand. Bringing that hand back down towards the centre. And walk back around towards the front, stepping yourself back into a downward dog. Going to bring the knees down towards the floor, coming into a child's pose. So bring the feet together, the knees apart, arms out as far as you can in front of you, dropping the torso and the head down towards the mat. One last breath here. See if you can fill your whole body with breath. Feel your ribs expanding, front, back, sides. Bringing yourself back up to all fours. Tucking the toes and coming into a downward dog. Going to lift the left leg up towards the sky. Bending at the knee, bring the foot down towards your bottom, and then opening the left hip out on top of the right hip. Looking underneath your left arm. Leveling out the hips again and straightening the leg into a three-legged dog before we bring that foot all the way through, placing it on the floor. Bring the back knee down into a low lunge. We're going to just heel toe the foot out a little bit so the foot comes towards the left side of the mat. The toes are just pointing out towards the corner of the mat here. Making sure that the left hand is Grounded on the floor, taking the right hand is grounded on the floor, taking the left hand to the inside of the left knee. See if you can gently guide that knee open. You can roll the foot onto the side. Just take it to wherever you feel comfortable here. You might feel like it's absolutely fine where it is, just out to the side. But if you do want to roll it open a little bit more, you can. If you want to add a little bit something else, reaching the left hand all the way back, bending the right knee up and seeing if you can reach for the right toes, pulling gently, pulling the toes towards you to feel that stretch through the top of the right leg. If you're holding onto that foot, just letting it go. If your knee is out to the side, gently guiding it back in. Bring that foot back into the centre. Going to lift the back leg up. Take a step back into a downward dog. Going to drop our elbows down towards the floor, coming into the start of a dolphin pose. So bring the elbows to the floor, the hands are in line with the elbows here, flat on the floor. Fingers still widespread and facing forwards. If you do have a bit of space, see if you can walk the feet slowly towards the elbows, as far as you can, using your breath to focus on. Slowly walking the feet back out, dropping the knees down to the floor, keeping the knees together, taking a child's pose with the knees together here. You can bring the hands down towards the ankles, relaxing the arms, relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the head. As you inhale, feel your belly expanding onto the tops of the thighs. Bring your hands underneath the shoulders, lifting yourself back up to all fours, tucking the toes, lifting the hips up towards the sky into our downward dog. This time lifting the right leg up towards the sky, bending at the knee, bringing the foot down towards the bottom and then opening out the right hip on top of the left hip this time, looking underneath the right arm. Leveling out the hips again, straightening that leg before you bring it all the way through, in between the hands, dropping the back knee down into our low lunge. Bringing the right hand to the inside of the foot as you walk the foot out towards the right hand side this time. Left hand is planted on the mat. Take the right hand towards the inside of the right knee, gently guiding it outwards if you have the space to do so, onto the edge of that foot there. And again, if you do want to add the stretch through the back leg, reaching up and over, bending the left leg up, reaching towards the foot, and gently drawing that foot in towards the body. Releasing the back foot if you have a hold of it, bringing that right foot in to the centre, tucking the back toes, lifting the back leg, stepping ourselves straight back into a downward dog. And again, dropping the elbows down towards the mat. See if you can just bring the feet a tiny bit closer than you did before. Just an extra half a toe length. Slowly stepping the feet back. Once again, dropping the knees down towards the mat together. Coming into our child's pose or rock pose. With the knees together, arms down by the side of the legs. Relaxing down onto the floor. As you inhale, feeling the whole rib cage expand. As you inhale, it's drawing back together. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders to push yourself up, taking the legs out to the side, and then bring them out in front of us, and then taking them out to the side. And that's gone a bit wonky. Lovely. So the legs are out to the side as far as is comfortable, just release any flesh from underneath your bottom here. Keeping the toes pointed up towards you. Going to turn towards the right leg. See if we can start to take a fold here. So keeping the chest open and folding here from the hips. Just see how far forward you can come. So don't worry if you can only go a tiny little way. It's absolutely fine. If you can start to walk yourself a little bit lower. That's also great. You can start to lower your chest and your head down towards the leg. And just take a few deep breaths here. In this forward fold, keeping both the toes active, both the feet active, all the toes. Inhaling into any areas of tightness you feel, most likely down through the backs of the legs, maybe through the back of the body as well, so that when you exhale, maybe you can just let go a little bit of some of that tension, of some of that tightness, to just get a little deeper into the pose. Inhaling to lift the head and the chest if you were all the way down, starting to walk ourselves back up, turning through the centre towards the left leg. Inhale to create that length through the spine before we exhale and start to walk ourselves down the other leg. And remembering each side can be different, so don't push yourself further because you could on one side and not the other. Just listening to the body, using your breath to slowly deepen into a stretch. Slowly soften down little by little. Taking one last breath here before you start to lift yourself up. Walk the fingertips back to centre. Bringing the feet together into a butterfly pose. Taking the thumbs to the balls of the feet here. The fingertips are wrapped around the top of the toes. You can take your elbows down towards the inside of the knees here. And you're just using your hands to open the feet out towards your face, pushing the elbows in towards the legs to help bring them closer to the floor. And just taking a few breaths here in this butterfly pose. Once again, feeling the stretch through the legs. Maybe if you do have a tightness through the back or the shoulders, you can feel this here as you're slightly leaning forward. Inhaling deeply and sending your breath to those areas of tightness. Trying to create some space with your inhale so that when you exhale, maybe you can just move a little deeper into the pose. So next to inhale, gently bring yourself up, out. Gently guide your legs up if you feel like you moved into them quite deeply. Lovely. We're going to wrap our arms around the knees and just take a little hug. Dropping the head, hugging the body, hugging the knees. Lifting the head up and out. We're going to take the left leg out in front of us. Crossing the right leg over so the foot is flat on the other side. You can either leave this leg out to the front here, the left leg, or you could tuck it underneath you here behind you. Just make sure if you do this that you've still got both your sit bones on the floor here. You're not floating this right one up. So if you do find that that's happening, you can bring that left leg back out in front of you. I'm going to take the right hand behind us. Inhale, reach the left hand up towards the sky. Take it to the elbow to the outside of the knee, creating that length through the spine as you inhale and exhale. See if you can take a twist here. Using your elbow on your knee as a gentle guide. You're not trying to use lots of force here to twist you round. It's just there to gently help you twist a little further. Each exhale, see if you can come a little bit further round. Coming back towards the centre, taking both your hands down towards the left hand side, just doing a little drop down towards the mat, pushing back up, just to release the back here. I'm going to take the left leg back out in front of us if it wasn't already, and just release the right leg down onto the floor. So the side of the foot is just flat on the floor. The knees are as close together as they can be, one on top of the other. Inhaling, feeling that length through the spine. As we start to exhale, we're going to fold forward ever so gently. You should feel the stretch through the back of the left calf here. Once again, if you can just move a tiny little way, that's great. If you can come a little bit further, then do. Always listen to the body, always using your breath to gently guide you deeper into each pose. Inhaling to come back up, nice and slowly, unravelling the legs, giving them a little shake out if they need it. You're going to bend the left knee up, crossing it over. Again, you can either leave the right leg where it is, or you can bring it underneath you. Taking the left hand round behind us, inhaling up to the sky with the right hand, taking the outside of the elbow to the outside of the knee. Inhale to create length through the spine. Exhale to start gently twisting. Each inhale is a reminder to keep that length through the spine. Each exhale, maybe you can just take that twist a little deeper. Coming back round to centre nice and slowly. Gently bringing both the hands down towards the right hand side, taking that little drop down towards the floor, push back up again. And then if the right leg was tucked under, just bringing it out to the side, dropping the left leg down so the foot is relaxed on the floor. The knees are as close to each other, on top of each other as they can be. Inhale to create that length through the spine. Exhale to fold yourself down over this leg, feeling the stretch through the calf, the hamstrings. It can maybe be quite an intense stretch if you don't stretch the calves a lot, so do just listen to the body and just take it very easily if you find that is quite a powerful stretch for you. Give one last inhale, one last exhale. We inhale, coming back up to centre, unravelling the legs. Lovely. Going to bring both the feet towards us, bring the knees to the bent in front of us. With the middle and index finger, just wrapping your fingers around the big toes. And just see if we can just gently rock back and lift the feet off the floor. balancing exercise. So keeping the core engaged, keeping your shoulders relaxed. Try not to hold on to any tension like in the jaw, in the face. Don't strain the neck. Just see if you can gently rock yourself until you can bring your feet off the floor. This might be enough for you, just keeping the feet off the floor here. If you want to stretch the legs out in front of you, then you can. And if you do want an extra little element here, taking the legs out to the side, all the while keeping your belly button drawn into the spine, really protecting the lower back here. Shoulders should be nice and relaxed. If you're feeling really stable here, you might want to just have a little play around with the legs. You can do whatever you like, just have a little play. Otherwise, just focus on wherever you are, keeping the core engaged, keeping yourself nice and stable. If your legs are out, bringing them in. If they're up, bending them down. And if your heels are off the floor, just bringing yourself back so the feet are on the floor and taking a hug again with the knees. Lifting the head back up. I'm going to come so that we're lying down on the mat here. So just taking the hands out behind you. Bringing yourself down nice and gently. Stretching the legs out. Going to bend the right knee in towards the chest. Take a hold of the knee. Just take rotations through the ankles. We'll take the right arm out to the side on the floor, either cactus or you can have it in a straight T position. Taking the left hand to the outside of the right knee, you're going to use that hand to gently guide the knee down towards the left side of the floor, the left side of the body. Your right hip is completely up off the floor here. You might find that your right shoulder lifts off of the floor as well. Seeing if you can just gently, with each exhale, lower that shoulder back down to the floor, as well as lowering the knee down towards the other side. Take one more breath here before you come back up to center. Lower that leg down. Realign yourself if you feel like you need to here before you bring the left knee in. Take your hold of the left knee, drawing it into the chest. Maybe just taking a few circles through the ankle here. Taking the left arm out to the side, either as a cactus arm or arm straight. Right hand to the outside of the left knee, and using the hand to guide the knee down towards the right side of the body. That left hip lifts up off the floor. Trying to keep the left shoulder on the floor if you can. If it is just floating, using each exhale to see if you can just gently draw it back down towards the floor. Gently soften through the shoulders. And as well, seeing if you can gently soften the knee down towards the floor. Letting go of any tension you're holding onto in the right leg, the underneath leg. Taking one more breath here. Before we come back up to center. Straighten that leg down. Once again, just rearrange the hips if you need to. Bringing both the knees in towards the chest. Giving yourself a little hug here. See if you can draw the nose towards the knees. Maybe take a little rock from side to side. Slowly lowering the shoulders back down if the nose is up to the knees. Bringing the feet so the soles of the feet are facing the ceiling. Taking hold of the big toes again, or the outside of the feet, or just wherever you can reach behind your legs here. Bending the knees down as if they're drawing down towards the armpits here. And coming into a happy baby. Taking a little roll from left to right. And again here, maybe you just want to have a little play through the legs, just take a last few little movements before we come into our Shavasana. When you're ready, releasing the feet, taking the legs all the way down on the floor, about mat width apart. Just let the feet and the legs just drop out to the side. The arms are palms facing up, down by the side of the body, a little away from the body. Or if you'd rather bring your hands towards your belly, or you can bring left hand towards the heart, right hand on the belly. However you like to take your Shavasana. Taking a nice deep inhale. Exhaling, feeling yourself relaxing little by little. Each limb is just relaxing down into the mat beneath you. See if you can locate any areas in the body where you feel you've really moved into, really stretched into today. You have that kind of tingly feeling. And imagine sending that nice tingly feeling all around the body. Take one last deep inhale. Exhaling to feel the whole body relaxing down into the mat. And take a scan through the body, from the feet, through the ankles, through the lower legs and into the knees. The tops of the legs, all the way round, up into the hips, the pelvis, the glutes, letting go of any tension, feeling them nice and heavy and relaxed on the mat. Coming up through the back of the body, through the front of the body, through the belly, through the chest, into the shoulders, wherever the arms are, making sure they are not holding on to any tension, they're nice and relaxed on the floor or resting on the body. Coming up through the neck, the head is nice and heavy on the mat. The jaw is released, the eyebrows are relaxed. And just stay here for a couple of minutes, letting our practice just sink in. the next breath. Feel the breath lengthening, deepening. Bringing some movement back to the body and the fingers and the toes. The wrists, the ankles. And taking both the arms slowly up overhead. Bringing the legs together and just stretching from top to toe. One by one, bring the knees in towards the body. Taking a hold of the knees here. And maybe just taking a little rock from side to side once again. And then coming all the way down to whichever side you prefer. Using that underneath arm as a little pillow for your head here. Pushing up into a seated position nice and slowly. Keeping the eyes closed if you can or if you want to. Bringing yourself to that seated position. Inhaling, bringing the shoulders up. Exhaling, they roll down and back. Nice and relaxed. Bringing the hands towards the heart center. Inhaling to create that length through the spine. Exhaling to just drop the forehead down towards the fingertips. Thank you again for taking the time to come and practice with me today. Take the time to just thank yourself for making the time to do so. Hope you have a lovely week or weekend ahead, whatever time of day or day you're practicing this. Hope everyone is staying safe and keeping well. Thank you very much. Namaste.